Cancer, you got the answer. Let's do this. Magic D Magician Tarot. You can like, share, and subscribe below. And I hope you do. We're going to use the 1JJ Swiss today. The classic Woodcut Tarot, the Swiss. Let's do it. I'm wearing my Prince John for you. I feel like pretty good vibes for you, Cancer. I feel like you're standing up for yourself. That's figuring strongly for me. Getting excited about your birthday season. Being more healthy. Something like that. So, it's going to be a general reading for today, May 19th through the 21st. And you are rocking with the best Magic D Magician Tarot. The one and only. Oh, whoa. Hold on. We got a little direction card in here. An ad card in here. Okay, maybe not the best. But I'm pretty good, so I know y'all. If you're back, I want to thank you. And if you're new, I'm glad that you came, see what's up. Let me know what kind of curiosity took you over. What made you want to come see what's going on over here. Full disclosure, I am a Pisces. So I got mad love for Cancer. My fellow water signs. And I will be reading reversals. I will be telling you the truth of what I see. I will not be sugarcoating things. But, I'm going to keep it positive, Cancer. Don't you worry. Hangman was at the bottom. So, like I said, you're in a reflective period. Overall positive, but definitely reflective. So, let's figure out what's on your mind. We're going to see what's coming towards you in love, life, and even in career. One more for the road. Okay, let's go. Let's get into it. First card out of the gate is the Three of Swords in the reverse. So that definitely tracks. Because if you had a recent heartbreak or a recent hard conversation, hard end to a relationship, it wasn't necessarily the end that you thought it was going to be. Maybe things were fertilized by the turmoil. Okay, but there is a Ten of Wands. So that is where I'm getting that kind of like a little bit tired energy. Where you're still trying to keep your spirits up. You're still trying to think of a solution to a particular problem, but you're not going to let somebody down. You're not going to let your family down. You're not going to let yourself down. You're not going to let your job down. We got a Six of Swords, which means that all's well that ends well. But there was a struggle there. And maybe you had to pick a side. But you chose to reject somebody who's a very misery loves company type person. They could be an Aries, they could be a Capricorn, they could be a Taurus, they could be a Sagittarius. So a lot of earth and fire, and they could have a very fiery temper, and they could be the kind of person who really imposes their will. And for you, as a peace-loving and harmonious individual, generally, you might be a more spicy, hermit crab that is more kind of, you don't like to be stepped on for sure. If I'm speaking to somebody out there, let me know. If you're bothered by the water sign stigma of this like woo-woo, weak sauce, crybaby thing, comment in the description below because I'm feeling like one of you is here. Like, hold up, I'm not like that. And that's good because it looks like you stood up to an emperor. You stood up to some sort of authority. This could also be in a work situation where you could have taken the easy road and looked away and, whoa, look at my arms. Like, look at these goosebumps. You could have been like, oh yeah, that's not my problem. But you chose to stand up for what is right. Page of Pentacles. So it's a modest endeavor, whatever this is. It could be a work situation, a relationship that's starting with just a little bit of time. And maybe you're realizing you only have to give a little bit to the situation, maybe not giving in terms of charity or investment, but giving in terms of like easing your stance or easing your, I want to say like allegiance to a particular viewpoint. So your viewpoint could be evolving on something. The Fool in the reverse though, so for the next 24 to 48, by the end of the 48, you're going to be reeling it back in to a little bit more of a realistic expectation, which is very you. So you come out to play, you have a fun weekend, possibly thinking about going to a beach, going to some warm weather destination, maybe a lake house, something like that, Cancer. But you do know that when you come back home, you got to get back to work. Got a Four of Wands here, so there could be a marriage figuring for you, and a Ten of Cups, meaning that if it is a marriage that you're thinking of, you're going into your betrothed, if you are the person that is getting married, to a very emotionally fruitful situation. You know in your heart, with this beautiful Ten of Cups right here at the top, you know in your heart that if you follow your heart or you do what's right, and maybe even give yourself to the situation, with the realism, of course, with the lessons that you got from the broken heart, with the resolve that you have from your Ten of Wands. A lot of tens here. This is great. This is really good. You know that the outcome's going to be good, and you know that there's love there. You could be dealing with the kind of situation where, if it's a work situation that has nothing to do with love, you're the one person who's believing in a new way forward, a new path forward. And there could be a lot of naysayers around you, or like sort of like a good old boys club, or good old like mean girls around you, something like that. And you're choosing to take a little bit more of a high road and be like, maybe these youngins do have something to offer. So you could be changing your perspective on the next generation, the next solution, or wanting to love again after a heartbreak, after being the kind of person that doesn't want to give up no matter what. You do realize that sometimes things have to change, and you do have to challenge authority with the Emperor in the reverse. Or it could be literally an Aries that you had to challenge. Yeah, Queen of Wands. So you are eschewing, I don't even know what that means. Okay, you're like flying in the face of, or like turning the tables on, I want to say like a conservative approach, either to love, life, or career. And you're interjecting more of a creativity into it. And by you being the person to like, even I'm seeing like you could be lighting a votive candle for somebody, whether it's literal or in your heart. Just that little piece of flame, just that little bit of flame, even if it's incense, or if you think of somebody while you're smoking a cigarette, that little bit of fire is being translated into a big flame, a long-lasting flame for your work life, your family, your own relationship. You are that piece of hope, and you're giving somebody a lot of hope. I also see an acorn here, like a pineal gland, a third eye situation where you saw something as inevitable, but everyone around you was like, no, we gotta fight against this, we gotta fight this, and you were like, I don't know if fighting this is gonna actually help. And that's why maybe from the past relationship or the past hurt, where you got that stoic nature, you realize that sometimes you gotta fight the flow, and sometimes you gotta go with the flow in order to grow and change. What's this little Page of Pentacles here? Okay, yeah, you might not have a lot to give, but you gotta keep like yourself in the race somehow. So that's like investing a little bit of time, investing a little bit of money, but also, like I said, giving in terms of like giving way to new ideas. Maybe piping down a little bit, or you're telling others to pipe down a little bit. You could be like, whoa, you are out of pocket, homie. You need to chill. Yeah. Because you've seen their pain and you've seen how they feel with this Five of Pentacles here, which traditionally you'd see it's like the sad, weathered people with their rucksacks on their back, just like in the snow, and you feel like a certain person or a certain ideology has constantly led you into that feeling of lack. And with these two fives here, you're fighting against it. Okay, Nine of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, you're having a change of heart, a change of mind. Probably there's some wisdom. I'm still feeling like there's another generation. If you're thinking of somebody who's younger than you that you could be courting, just started dating after heartbreak, this person is showing you a whole new side, like literally a whole new world, a new way to be. You could be changing your diet up a little bit. You could be pursuing interests that were important to you as a child. Or you're supporting your child who is now growing up, wanting to go to a certain school, wanting to marry a certain person, wanting to go in a certain career, and maybe you and your partner or whoever you co-parent with, or it could be your coworker, a person who's like a fellow boss, and you might be having your first disagreement with that person in favor of a new way to go, a new way to be. All right, now let's see, what is this person? This is great with this Ten of Cups, for real. and this Four of Wands. This means that if it's a marriage that you're thinking about or concerned about, the outcome is going to be good. Part of you knows that. With the Five of Cups in reverse, the Three of Swords in the reverse, you know that, like, not only is there no use crying over spilt milk, but, like, you don't even like milk. You're starting to realize that maybe the ideals that were imposed upon you, possibly at an old job, and things didn't go, the way they needed to be, like, it was just too antiquated for you. It was just too closed-minded for you. Maybe a partner was too negative for you, and now you're moving on toward a marriage that's going to be extremely fulfilling and loving. But there is some group or some individual who you're realizing now that you just cannot see eye to eye, and they are cramping your style, Cancer. Page of Swords. Okay. If this person is a little bit of a spy, a little bit of a gossip, a person who tries to bring you back in with merely physical, like, this person can be like a temptress or a playboy. That person is somebody that you're rejecting in favor of marriage, love, commitment. So there's a part of them that is no longer as sexy to you. It's not as, like, alluring and enticing to you, the things that you liked about them before, because life is like, I feel like the overwhelming message for y'all right now is that life is changing and you are changing. Okay, Cancer, this is great. You could have done something like maybe even without knowing, you did something very good for your soul and nourishing for your soul around the time of the most recent Scorpio moon, or whatever that lunar eclipse was. And now you're feeling like it's just weight off your shoulders. I'm overwhelmed by this feeling of like, okay, cool, I see a way forward. Cool, I see a way forward. Okay, cool. Like maybe even you feel like spring cleaning. Could be somebody that spring cleaning is really important to you. You've gotten rid of some stuff, and you could have recently gotten rid of, this is kind of weird to say, but you could have gotten rid of an object or a person, could be a person, could have gotten rid of an object or a person in your circle that was pretty much cursed, or an ideal that was cursed or doomed. Yeah, definitely I'm feeling like if you're in a long-term commitment with a partner, or you've been with a company for a certain amount of time, orthodoxy, tradition, it's been turned on its head. Like, you're starting to realize that if you can't beat them, you gotta join them. And the person that you were with, or the person that was sort of like, I don't want to say like the boss of you, you're being like, you're not the boss of me, in a great way. You're like, nah, you ain't the boss of me. You ain't gonna tell me how to think, you ain't gonna tell me how to feel, and you are certainly not going to get in the way of progress in my own self-worth and my own self-development any longer. You cut the tie there. Yeah. 21, okay. Interesting. You could have started your relationship with this person super early, around the age of 21. Oh, interesting. Okay, cool. So we have a serpent here. Okay, it looks like an 8-pointed star. And it's runic. Look at these runes. The snake, and it's, rather than eating its own tail, it's like reckoning with it. And if you look really closely, it's looking right at a cross. Now, if y'all know your runes, let me know if you see any hidden messages in these runes. These are the Phoenix cards. They tell you a little bit about your past life. So in your past life, you could have been involved in like Greek Orthodoxy, or even like Russian Orthodox type religion. It was very important to you. And now you're breaking away from some of those religious traditions. Not necessarily leaving your religion behind, but definitely questioning some of those like ingrained ideals that you've had since childhood. And then with this one we got number 12. 12 could be important to you. You could be thinking of a Pisces person. You could be thinking of something that keeps you up at night. Something having to do with midnight. And also you could be thinking of a person whose birthday is in December. That could be very figure strongly for you. And that would make sense if you're in a relationship with a Capricorn or a an Aries, a very like strict sign. And I don't mean strict like strict in how the standards that they put on others, maybe even the standards that they put on you. All right. One more. I know these Phoenix cards are a little bit cryptic, but what we're going to do next is the Linda Goodman Star Cards. These are some oracles that I found at my local shop, so big ups to McKay's. You know who you are. If you're at the counter of the McKay's and you help me get them cards, thanks. Thank you to my tarot dealer who enables my love and collection of tarot cards. Flaplam. What? You are the third sign to get this card. The Scepter in the reverse. There was a lack in creativity and there was a lack of belief in the emotional. 27 can figure strongly. Maybe you're thinking of somebody whose birthday is the 27th. Regeneration and change. Cool. And Saturn. It could be one of those signs if you're around the age of 28, 29, right now going through a Saturn return, and you could be possibly struggling and fighting with your own morality, fighting with your own concept of karma. Maybe karma has been whooping your ass or whooping somebody you know's ass, and it put them in a state where they didn't believe in you. Also, their lack of faith, I find your lack of faith disturbing. That's where you're at. They were like, I find your lack of faith disturbing. And you, out of this dead, this is crazy. This is the second time I'm getting this card also. I did shuffle, but sometimes these cards, these are like some of the trickiest, most in-your-face cards I've ever seen. And they do have a lot to do with numerology. So 13. This person's birthday could be the 13th, December 13th, or this person went through a metamorphosis or change. You could have gone through a metamorphosis or change based around something that happened to you when you were 13. Or maybe you haven't revisited something that happened to you when you were 13. I'm also feeling like there could be some unresolved feelings that you have around sexuality, sensuality, and anything like rebellious or different. There was something inside you that in the past, I'm feeling like way in your past when you were 13, something like that, it had to be stuffed down. And now there's a part of you that wants to be free, wants to accept all different sides and all different kinds of people. And maybe in the past, you could have been a little bit more discerning than open to love. And now you're starting to see that somebody who's totally different than me could actually teach me a lot. So that's really awesome. All right, Cancer. Let me know in the comments if anything resonates with you. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Magic Day Magician Tarot out.